Good morning, everybody. This is for all those who couldn't make it into the studio today, or for those of you who come once a week to add to your at-home cardio training. So here's our strength portion for the week. This is mainly upper body today. So what you're going to need is 3 sets of weights, heavy, medium, and light. I've got 8 5s and 2s today. I'm going to be using all those, and you'll need a band or a towel to use for one area of the shoulder movements. So that's what we're going to be using today. And here we go. We have got 10 movements. We're going to repeat those twice, and we are going to set our work timer for 1 minute and a rest timer for 10 seconds. Here we go. We're going to start with bicep curls. So I'm grabbing my 8-pound weights, basic bicep curls. 1, 2 up, 1, 2 down, slow and steady. So just basic bicep curl, slow and steady, keep it controlled. That's movement number 1. Movement number 2, basic squat. I'm going to keep my weights for added resistance, just gluing them together here. This is where I like my weights when I squat. And basic squat, hip width apart in your feet, and making sure you can see your toes so your heels have most of your weight in them, and your knees and ankles are still in alignment. Basic squat. Good. Movement number 3, we're going to combine an angled curl with our basic squat. So starting again from the center position, when we're going to drop into our squat, come up, take that out into an angled curl, reset, squat, and angled curl. All right, that's movement number 3. Next movement, number 4, is a basic overhead press. We're going to do single sides alternating. I'm again sticking with my 8-pound weights, but if this is a weaker area for you, feel free to step down to your 5s or even to your lightest weights, your 2s. Depends on you. Keep it right for your body. So here we go. Goal post position and push. 1, 2. Keep pushing. And we're just going to keep alternating back and forth till that time runs out. You can even start heavy and then work your way down light as your arms tire. That's a system I like to use a lot. It helps me just sort of build strength up, and I do as much as I can with my heavier weights and then start stepping down. So, overhead press, single side alternating. Now we're going to do rows, single side alternating. So from the front view, you're going to take a stagger stance. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to take your arms and extend them forward at an angle, pulling back, dropping those shoulders back, pulling those shoulder blades together. Dropping back down to reset, do it again. So, now that you've got that down, we're going to take and start alternating. You always want to do those first 2 doubles to kind of get yourself into what it feels like to pull those shoulder blades together. Because when you start single-siding and alternating, you still want to create that feeling back there in that shoulder blade, that squeeze right there. So, what this looks like from the side, stagger stance, pull those arms back, drive those shoulders back, and squeeze right there, and squeeze. So there's our single side alternating rows. So, of course, you know me, I like to start one way and build on it. So we're going to do a step back row with an overhead press. Now this is not a step back lunge. We're stepping back into our staggered stance, setting up for the row, stepping forward and setting up for the overhead press. So don't drop into a lunge. I want you to keep this high. So this is what this is going to look like from the front view. Stepping back. So there we are, staggered stance, puts you in row form. Drive those elbows back, step forward and up. So both together, alternate that leg, staggered stance, up, overhead. So, just going to keep alternating through this movement. Good. Gonna do one more. Frontwise, here's what this looks like to the side. Keeping this high, it's not a lunge. Stepping back, stagger stance, row. Stepping forward, bringing it up, press. Stepping back, stagger stance, row. Overhead. Row, and bring that overhead. Again, that's what it looks like to the side. All right, gonna drop these weights down and grab the band. So, a couple of options for these band rows depending on what you have at your disposal at home. I'm just using a regular little monster band. I've got it doubled. You can single it or you can double it. This is a red, so it's pretty stiff, but I'm not trying to pull way out here. I'm just pulsing. So, I've got my band. We're going to start down here, low, so just bring that straight out from your thighs, about a foot, just nicely angled down, and pulse. Gonna pulse to the beat of 20, take that up to the chest, pulse to the beat of 20, I'm straight out from my chest, and then up, straight out from that forehead, out and up, pulse to the beat of 20. Just keep alternating through, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. So that is your band pulls. You can also do these if you're not quite ready for the band or your band that you have at home is too strong, then you can also just take and thumbs facing each other and you can just pulse out to the pulse of 20, come up, pulse out to the pulse of 20, and come up and pulse out to the pulse of 20. You can also take some lighter weights, like the 2-pound weights, and again, so thumbs facing in with each other, pulse out 20, pulse out 20, and pulse out 20. Keep the movement small, don't be doing this. None of that going on. Nope. Keep it small, we're pulsing. Little. Good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is involving our little 2-pound weights. So I'm only going to use one of those. So dropping the other one down. Hands on hip. I'm going to start with one arm, setting up, bending where my weight can touch the top of my shoulders just to line me up. Elbows out nicely, and I'm just going to push up and out, bringing that weight down. I'm not going to let my head tilt over here, chin get down here, or up here. So chin is straight, just pushing up. It's very important to use a light weight doing this. If you use too heavy of a weight, you could injure your rotator cuff. So really, really light weight. If you don't have a weight that's light enough, then you just drop that weight down. When you go through that moment, good fist, you just go through that movement without the weight. Trust me, you're gonna feel it. So of course, what we do to one side, we're gonna do the other. So sitting up here, I'm just touching to line up, getting my head up here, and then push. Once I'm lined up, just pushing. And sometimes you have to keep reminding yourself, even trainers, we have to constantly remind ourselves to focus on form. When I get to talking and demonstrating, sometimes I notice my form starts to slip. So I immediately correct it. That is so important. Don't let yourself do it wrong. If you find yourself doing it wrong or getting too tired to do it correctly, rest and reset. So that is your single tricep press on each side. So you're going to do those. Now we're going to do a row with the tricep kickback. I'm switching to 5-pound weights here. I like to go in that happy medium with this so I have really good control. So stepping back into my staggered stance, I'm going to pull back into my row and I'm going to hold this here. I'm not dropping back out of my row. I'm holding it. My shoulder blades are squeezing together. My shoulders are down and back. They're not up here. They're down and back. And then I'm just going to kick back with my weight. You can do this one at a time if you need to, single-sided, depends on your triceps, or you can kick it back doubles. You just choose what is right for your body. So kicking back, and you can alternate that out anytime you need to. So that is your tricep. That's your row position with your tricep kickback. All right, and now for our last but not least, since we've got these triceps fired up, we're gonna finish them off. Everybody's favorite. So I'm putting my weights down. I'm going down to, I've got a mat here because we've got hardwood floors in the studio. So I like a little cushion on my wrist. So I've got my yoga mat here. Gonna come down, set up on the booty, and you can see my hand is facing forward toward my booty, sliding it back just a little bit. You do not want your hands facing like this. Bad, bad, bad on the elbows and shoulders. So you do not want that. You can have them anywhere between here and here. So straight out sideways or forward, but none of this. So here we go. Lining those hands up, and then just gonna push. So you can see I'm bending in the elbow and pushing up. So dipping in those triceps. They're gonna light up, especially since we've already done the single tricep press and the row position tricep kickback. So fire those babies up and finish them off. That's the end of the first round. So you're gonna repeat that again. And remember, your work time is on 1 minute, your rest time is on 10 seconds. That 10 seconds basically gives you enough time to switch weights, get into position for the next movement, and get started. So it's really not a rest. It's just a moment to get set up and reset. So I hope you enjoy this workout. Get that upper body fired up today, and I will see you guys when you come into the studio. And for those of you who don't come in and are staying at home, then I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye, guys.